Hello there and welcome back to our worship podcast. I can't believe it's worship. Once again, I'm Lester Sim.
I'm Lester Ong.
And this is the worship podcast for amateurs by amateurs. We have a very special series for you here where we have our very first episode out of 3 where we are recording all these episodes here in Kagoshima, Japan, because we're here on a mission trip, a worship mission trip. So therefore, we hope that you catch a heart for Japan, or at least you get to understand what God is doing here in the city of Kagoshima, and in the broader picture, what He's doing here in Japan. And on this episode, we get to have Kevin here with us. Hello, Kevin.
Hello.
Hello, Kevin.
Thanks for having me.
Kevin is one of the missionaries sent out by Faith Community Church to be based in Kagoshima, and he's been here since August or thereabouts last year.
Since September 12th last year.
Wow,
September.
That's awesome. And we worked with Kev last year when the worship team came up to Fukuoka and also did some work in Kagoshima. And then we loved the work here in Japan so much we came back. And we are really, really grateful for you, Kev, because, just being... Actually, when we talk about and we report on these last few days, I've just been absolutely... My mind is blown by what God has been doing. And I think a lot of what has happened here was because of you. And I think... we couldn't really expect what you have achieved in the last several months. The running joke at the moment is like everybody loves Kevin. But,
yes. It's not a joke, it's real, it's truth.
Yeah. In fact, the other day we were at an elementary school.
That's
and
right.
A bunch of kids ran past both me and Lester. I was like, we're right here, dude. And straight to Kev and asked for an autograph, and he didn't do anything.
Yeah, you were far funnier than I was.
Yeah, so Kev's been here now for over a year, and we're really beginning to see the fruit of his missionary venture. Now, Kev, you're 32 years old, from Perth, Western Australia. You're a former banker and a barista. How did God call you to Japan?
I'd have to say it started with God putting the love for His people in my heart. I first came to Japan on an exchange program in high school. I was 14 at the time, and it was my first experience doing a homestay and actually meeting the people of Japan. Wow. I remember feeling a kind of kindness that left an impression in me, and I knew that most of them didn't know Jesus.
Wow. Mm. Hang on, I'm interested to know. So this is in Japan, but which prefecture is this?
The city was called Takarazuka. So there was a sister high school program with the high school that I went to, which was Applecross.
Right. Oh yeah. Should we also, before we jump further, I suddenly remember that Perth and Kagoshima, very interestingly, are sister cities. Because this is the first episode as we're talking about Kagoshima, right? And we're from Perth. So we found out that Perth and Kagoshima are actually sister cities. And it's not just like something that people say, but it's written in like proper writing. We have a Kagoshima Park, am I right? In Burswood in Perth.
Yes.
And there's what do we have here in Kagoshima?
Pasudori, which means Perth Street.
Yeah, and I think every other 5 years or 10 years, they have the mayor of Kagoshima go down to Perth to plant a tree or something like that.
Although I think many people from Kagoshima are surprised to find out about this fact, as are the Perthians, I think.
Yeah, sorry, I did interrupt. Yes. Where were we?
Yeah, you were telling us about how God called you here.
yeah.
So you came on an exchange and you were impacted by the kindness of the people.
I would say that was the first of a couple major events that triggered my coming here as a missionary. The first was the love for the people that God put in my life. I would say another major event in my life was when I attended a Christian workshop that focused on calling and destiny.
Wow.
During this event, basically a group of us, a small group, we were already quite close in that we have journeyed for 3 to 4 years together in a church setting. And the point of this workshop was to call out in each other's lives the quality that we see in each other when we share deeply and vulnerably basically our life story to one another. We can pray for one another in our weakness and also call out those qualities that we may not see in each other. One of the things that was called out of me was my voice. And one important question that was asked during this workshop was, how would you live your life if resources were not an issue? And as I recalled the love of the Japanese people that God had put in my life, and I thought, how could I use this gift that God has given me, which was called out of me, which was my voice. I created a life assignment statement at the time, which was that I wanted to use my voice for the kingdom of God in Japan.
Wow. And when they said your voice, was that a more metaphysical quality, like, speaking something, or was it because of the beautiful tone that you get from your voice?
That we all get to hear.
Yes. Because just for everyone's background context, we got Kev to help lead us worship whilst we were doing ministry here, and he sounded mint. Yeah.
Good job.
Yes, hoping that's the start of more.
And actually, I think the bigger thing to kind of encourage him on is that he didn't shy away from it. When we went like, Kev, like, you lead the song, and he went like, okay, sure, like, just teach me how to do it. And like, oh, good on you. Like, most people go, no, but you just like went for it. So good stuff, bro.
Thank you for encouraging me.
And so, was there more to it? Did that give you enough resonance and confidence that this was something that you wanted to pursue?
It definitely gave me confidence, because I think naturally I'm quite shy and I feel uncomfortable in many situations. But because of the encouragement that I received from everyone in this group, I felt like God had given me this gift and I want to use it for Him. And so whenever I feel scared, but the people around me encourage me to go, like yourselves with the singing, I recall that this gift is from God and that I want to use it for His sake.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome.
Wait, he didn't answer if it was his beautiful voice or that speaking, right?
That's
so
true.
which was it?
I was caught up in the beautiful voice.
I think during my sharing, two of the comments were that when I speak, there's a sense of calmness that they had felt. So that's why they were prompted to share that. And the other thing was that there's a sense of drawing that made them want to listen. And that's why they called those qualities out.
Wow. Well,
So
that explains a lot.
It was really like the tone of his voice, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's why we're taken by his voice.
No, but it's quite amazing because in the context of Japanese culture, I suppose, that is a very attractive way to interact with people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought about that just then. and I think that's part of why there's so much favor on you as you've been walking around making friends and connections. It's your voice.
But I think part of the reason why maybe there's a drawing to my voice is because I don't usually speak a lot, and when I do speak, it's like, oh, what does he have to say?
Right.
Some stuff I need to learn.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. We talk too much. Oh, so good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of what this podcast is about is obviously worship, but we're talking to you, Kev, today in the context of broad worship, worship as a lifestyle, as the giving of our everyday lives to God.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the preparation? So you felt this call now, and it's been confirmed. What did you do to prepare yourself, to chuck yourself on the altar, so to speak?
Well, just to review the timeline. So I felt the love for the people that God had put in my heart when I was 14 in high school. That workshop was in my early 20s, and I've now been in Japan for 1 year, and I'm 32 this year. So there's actually many years before I was able to release and trust in God that this is his calling for me. So the challenges were that I was worried about being able to have control in my life, to climb up the career ladder, to be able to afford a house, to find a partner, because I think someday I'd like to have a family. And so as the years went by, even though after the workshop I had written down that life assignment, and I did make small steps, such as learning the language, being intentional to meet Japanese people that are in Perth, and also making small trips, yes, for holiday, but also it was intentional to learn about the culture. It was still many years before I was able to release all of that. One major encourager for me was when I went on my short-term mission trip with FCC in 2023.
2023.
I think that was the first group that came to Japan, wasn't it?
Yes, FCC sent their first maiden mission to Fukuoka. And during this trip, I had met the long-term missionary, Samantha, who was to be sent to Fukuoka. And I heard her testimony, which maybe you can interview her and ask her. But long story short, and this doesn't really do her testimony justice, but it was difficult for her to obey God's call in her life, and yet there she was nevertheless. And hearing what she said about her journey that brought her to Japan made me reflect on my own. And I considered, I had the desire to be in Japan. I had made all these steps towards it, and yet it was so difficult for me to be in Japan as she was.
No, there was one thing you said about wanting to start a family, and we just want to remind our listeners not to start emailing us for Kevin's contacts. Because we've heard his voice now, but so restrain yourselves.
That is a fair warning. Thank you for covering our bases.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but definitely I would expect an increase in our listeners for this episode. Oh, so good. So maybe you could tell us what kind of challenges that you face, because I mean, you did kind of talk about what you had to surrender, I guess, in some sense. Certain attitudes, I guess you talked about wanting to be in control and wanting to climb up that career ladder, right? But what about here? Now that you're here, right, and you've been here for a year, just slightly over a year, what kind of challenges did you face, or what kind of challenges are you still facing as a missionary here?
I think when I first came to Japan, I didn't have any connections besides Samantha and Pastor Matsumoto, who I am homestaying with.
Yeah.
And so, in terms of my day-to-day, how do I live out my life? How do I make the most of it?
Yeah.
It was actually quite difficult to feel productive compared to the usual lifestyle in Perth.
Yeah.
But what helped with that was, before coming here, I wrote a mission statement and summarize. It's basically to be a friend to the Japanese people and to support the local Christians in Japan.
Yeah.
And this mission statement actually helped me during the times where I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, because I would be able to pray to God and ask Him, who can I be a friend to today, and who can I support? Or how can I support Pastor Matsumoto today, or depending on who I meet.
Yeah.
And yeah, it still wasn't without its difficult moments where I wasn't sure what I was doing. But certainly God was opening doors and was working behind the scenes. If I reflect now, especially during this mission trip that I get to work with this team, I can see sort of the fruit of the last year.
Oh, we can see it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of thought your mission statement was a bit bland.
You can't say that.
I didn't know what to write.
I mean, in my estimation, there should be 5 points and several sub-points. And you just say, I want to be a friend.
Hey, but I think that's the beauty of it, right? Like, that you, like, I don't know, as you're talking, and I'm thinking about, like, your time here, and of course I don't really see everything, but we have just been with you for about a week or so. There's something about you that's different. Like, your work here as a missionary doesn't feel forced. And that is honestly so encouraging.
Yeah.
Like, you're just being yourself. And I remember that was one of the things that you reflected on when we left Fukuoka last year, that you said that you were gonna head back to think about what your role would be, like, if you were yourself. And now we get to see, like what you said, the fruit of your labor, right? And it really doesn't seem forced. And I think Lester can also agree. It's just your natural connection with people, right?
Yes.
We were seated in the car waiting for you, because you said, like, oh, hang on, just wait here for 2 minutes. And Lester and I were just staring out through the front windscreen, watching you hand your neighbor some like a care pack of sorts. I don't know what's in there, but I presumed it was a care pack, because your neighbor's daughter was sick, and you heard about it and you decided to do something about it. You didn't tell anyone that you were gonna do that. You didn't tell us that you're gonna buy stuff. You didn't say, what should I do? But just naturally flowed. And honestly, I was like, wow, incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that because it reminds me that there's fruit in simplicity. Your simple desire to make friends, your simple trust in God, and then in the words of Pastor Matsumoto, you're just killing everyone.
I was waiting for that. That was gonna come up.
Was that his words?
No, use the actual words. Yeah. What did Pastor Matsumoto say?
I'm not gonna say it.
We're gonna ask Pastor Matsumoto.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll hear it from him.
And of course, we're not saying literally killing everyone, but in the sense that
killing them with kindness.
Yeah, I think so. People from all walks of life have just been so taken to you, and that friendship connection is real, and it's opened up a lot of doors.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like I honestly think I'm not saying it for the sake of saying it. Like my wife knows this too. I'm like, wow, like Kevin has really networked so well with the people here. Like wherever you step into an establishment where people know you, they're so excited to see you and they're so happy to see you. I'm like, wow, that just lays the groundwork for us to be able to do what we can do, only because you have made that prior connection. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've said too much. We promised that we were going to try not to say so much.
We'll let him do the talking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, so you're in Japan, and many missions academics would say that Japan is considered hard ground, right? And even though it's opened up to Christianity, maybe the last, I don't know how long, 40 years, say. The Christian population is less than 1%. So why do you think that is? What's the issue here?
A few months ago, one of my friends from Perth, who's from Kagoshima, but she taught in Willerton High School as an ALT, assistant language teacher.
Yeah.
So she's lived there for almost 2 years now. When she visited Kagoshima, I caught up with her and I asked her the same question. I wanted to know her perspective as a Japanese person, having lived in Australia and coming across the church. And what she said to me was that she feels that the religion is a foreign religion. It's not Japanese. And I think that is one perspective of why it's not being adopted. Another is that I think both of you experienced this as well when you came in December for the mission trip.
Yeah.
When even though our friend had experienced had a tangible experience of God during a worship event, and that she wanted to believe, she expressed, but she said that it's not so easy for her because it would mean that she can no longer participate in activities that's so deeply ingrained in the culture. It would mean for her she would lose a sense of togetherness, is how she felt. I think those two factors.
And when you say togetherness, you mean family togetherness or community togetherness, or just with the friends?
I think all the above. For example, during New Year's or certain festivals, family or friends or partners would visit shrines. And I guess she expressed in particular that she would have to give up that if she became a Christian.
Wow, so some really deep cultural opposition, so to speak, to the gospel then.
I think so.
I do have a follow-up question, but this is probably a little tough. I'm not sure if you've thought about it, but so being here as a missionary, then, like, what do you have to do? Do you try to relate the gospel to their culture? Because from what I see, it seems like the culture in Japan is so strong, and not just that it's strong, but it's they perceive it to be different from the world, and so they like it, and it's it's pretty good culture of caring for your community, right? Not thinking about yourself and whatnot. And they do see the fruit of that. And so what do you then try to do? Do you try to appeal to their culture and say, well, like Jesus fits into that, into some of those things? Or yeah, how do you try to do it?
There's a Japanese wife and Australian husband couple in FCC that I've met, and before coming to Japan, they prepared me with a story that they shared. And what they shared was that in Japan, sometimes they visit their family grave to pray, and it can be, in a sense, rude to not go, or to tell them not to do that. And what they said was, don't tell them no, because it's culturally insensitive. You can go with them and pray to God.
So kind of like to appropriately bridge the culture rather than resist and oppose the culture.
I think so. I think that's the approach to take.
So what has it been like for you in the last 12 months? What does your day-to-day missionary life look like as you're trying to break through this barrier?
Well, currently I'm here on a working holiday visa, and that was quite intentional in terms of coming here. I thought that being able to work part-time would make me more relatable. Also, it could help me make connections and also help me learn the language. One of the first things that someone asks is, what do you do? And if you don't work, then it immediately makes you unrelatable to a majority of the people. So with that said, I actually have 5 part-time jobs.
That's right. Every single place that Kev has brought us to is like, I work here.
I can relate to every vocation you can name.
But all of this, I believe, is an open door from God. When I first arrived in Kagoshima, I was eating in a ramen store, and I observed an interview take place. I think it was to work in that ramen store. And I saw a bunch of documents sprawled out on the table, and the people sitting quite with serious faces, arms crossed, and silence. Every now and then the interviewer would point to something on the document, ask a question, the interviewee would answer, they would nod, and then the silence continues. I was like, why is it so serious to get a job in a ramen shop? And then I thought, what luck do I have getting a job? I don't even know how to speak the language fluently. And I also knew that my priority is not to find a part-time job. And so whenever I had interest in wanting to work somewhere, I made it clear that my priority here is as a missionary, and sometimes I do have mission teams coming in or certain activities that I have to prioritize, so there may be moments where I can't come into work for prolonged periods of time. And that made me think, do I even have a chance in finding a part-time job? But God is good.
5 times over.
5 times over. The bosses and employers heard his voice. I mean, Kevin's voice. Saw his flow.
Don't go there.
But to answer your question, what do I do in my day-to-day life? So I would say on a not so busy week, when I say not so busy, I mean busy with hosting. I'm busy with hosting mission teams, and the church doesn't have many events on. Then that's when I can say I'm available to work to my 5 bosses. And basically, it looks like Monday I work at one of the cafes. In the morning, in the afternoon, I teach English for about an hour. Tuesday's my day off. So because it's my day off, sometimes I volunteer and help other churches. In particular, like an after-school care program that an American pastor missionary heads. On Wednesday, I work at my after-school school, teaching English. On Thursday, I work at the other cafe in the morning and teach English in the evening. Friday, I work at another after-school school. Saturday's my day off, and then Sunday's church. It sounds like a lot of work, but actually in 1 week, it's less than 25 hours. It's just a couple of hours here and there, but it allows me to connect with the community.
Yeah, I think we've seen the fruit of that even at the time that we've been here. We ended up being able to sing and preach the gospel to an elementary school. Nearly 200 kids.
And we'll talk about that in our own reflection. But I think it's so interesting because on one hand, some people perceive a missionary to be prioritizing evangelism, to literally like hand out tracts. And yet I do feel like while that is great in terms of its heart and it can be very effective, but often the locals might feel like, you're not interested in me. I'm just another person that could become like an additional member in your church. You don't even know much about my life. But here you are, and whether or not you're doing it intentionally, like with the connections that you have made, people can see that you care. And then, I don't know, but I feel like then when you share with them the gospel, when you even can notice that there's a need in their life and you share with them, then it becomes so much more effective, I guess. Keep doing what you do.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, we've certainly enjoyed the fruit of it this past week. And just for our listeners, we've come here as a worship ministry on mission. And so we've been doing a lot of things music related in the past week, thanks to Kevin's connections and open doors. I don't know whether we've imposed this on you. Hey, we're coming, do stuff and make it happen. but do you see any role for worship ministry and music ministry in terms of what you're doing in Kagoshima?
Yes. I'm
glad you said that.
You said no, we would end the episode right then. Thank you for listening.
No, thank you for coming. I've certainly been encouraged and have had a lot of fun. And I can certainly see where worship ministry, even you guys coming here, has fit into the picture. I think one of my roles is simply to be a channel to connect the resource and the love that people have for the country, because maybe they don't know how to direct that, and maybe I don't have the skill sets that you guys have as worship team.
We've heard you sing.
Yes, we have.
And I see how the people respond to what we've been doing, sharing gospel music. I think it calls for teamwork.
Do you have any other questions for Kev, Lester, before I go to my last one?
No, I can't think of any now. Maybe you can ask the last one, and if something comes to mind, then I'll have a last question.
Yeah. All right. We've only been here for a week and then another couple of weeks last year, but I do see some. I mean, for me personally, it's been an amazing experience being here on the ground in Kagoshima in particular. And you've been here for a year now. Tell us, what are your dreams and hopes for Japan, and in particular Kagoshima and Kyushu?
I think I recently came from a mission trip of sorts from Singapore.
Oh yeah.
They really need the gospel in Singapore.
Especially Ishu. Well, you were a missionary to Singapore
yes,
once.
I did go
Yes, you.
mission trip to Kyushu. That's for another day.
It wasn't really a mission trip, but we visited a few churches during our time. And one of the things we realized, I say we, so it was Pastor Matsumoto and I, as well as two other pastors. We formed a team here in Kagoshima. We call ourselves the Servant Leadership Team. And we visited churches who have sent short-term missionaries to Kagoshima. So it was a way for us to connect and provide them with an update.
Yeah.
And also encourage anyone who may be thinking of doing missions in Kagoshima, how we could help equip them. But during this trip, we see that the churches in Singapore are, one, united, and two, have a strong missional focus. And I think the missional focus is what, like in a way, has given the church growth and the ability to unite, because they're looking outside of themselves, and God blesses that. And I think the churches in Japan are, because they're quite small, maybe they have the mentality to only worry about themselves. And so my hope for the churches in Japan is that they'd be able to not just look at themselves, but be able to unite and work together, and also adopt that missional mindset, which we are starting to see more of that now because of the example that the Singaporean churches have shown by coming to love Japan. And even being here for 1 year, I can see how each short-term mission trip has impacted the local churches.
But so it's so great that as you're talking about these dreams and hopes for Kagoshima, that you're also doing something about it, like what you said, this servant leader thing that you're starting.
Servant leadership.
Servant leadership.
I wouldn't have called it that. I would have called it super apostolic power team or something like that. But
and that's why he's meek.
correct, you're not. Correct. Good name.
But yeah, it's you're helping. I'm not sure if you were the one who instigated it to start it, but at least now you're at the heart of it, where church pastors are looking beyond themselves and now to work together as one wider body of Christ, right? Wow, excited to see what comes of that. Because when did you guys start doing this servant leadership thing?
Very early on this year, and I didn't start it. It was Pastor Matsumoto's idea.
Oh, Pastor Matsumoto.
You'll hear from him, I believe.
Yes, we will. Great man of God. Okay, I thought of a question.
Now, before you do ask that question, I think the point needs to be made that there is a turning of the tide in Japan.
Yes.
And in part, what the Singapore churches have been doing in terms of their uniting together is that they've pretty much adopted Japan as a mission field, and they're doing it in a very systematic way and resourcing the churches in Japan like never before. So I think if there's a time for Japan to turn to Christ, I think it feels like now. Hey?
Yeah.
So
There's a real
definitely.
sense of hope.
Yes, yes. Yeah, agree. And we do sense it, like, even as we're here, right? Like, yeah. So Kev, what do you say to people who are interested to possibly come here to Kagoshima to do missions here, like short term? Yeah, more short term, I guess. What can they expect?
What can they expect? I will say what was said to me about what I should expect when I went on my short-term mission trip,
Yeah.
which was to not have expectations.
You are a wise man.
Because anything can happen. But also to be not surprised if, even though you come with the mentality as a missionary to bless and give and teach, or whatever it is that your purpose or goal is, in this case as a worship team, you wanted to teach on how to worship. But I think you will definitely feel like you're the ones having learnt something going on this mission trip.
Yeah, absolutely. I will attest to that experience in the last week. It's been quite wrecking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll definitely have to talk about that too, right? I think here we are. We had this mindset that we were gonna come here, and almost like we had this. I don't know. I speak for myself, but almost like I had this pride in me to go like, okay, I've got the tools. I know what to do, and I'm here to help equip. But yet, I think I was so so moved by the heart of worship here that I think I had to shift my mindset to recognize that maybe I was sent here to learn something to bring back home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's for another episode. Kevin, do you have anything else that you'd like to say to our listeners? Yeah, anything. And don't feel stressed if you got nothing. It's fine. You can say nothing as well. Yeah.
I guess if you are thinking about going overseas to bless another country because God has given you a heart for that country, then go for it. You can make small steps. Learn the language is important.
Yeah.
Even going on holidays, to learn about the culture is an important step. You never know, you'll become a full-time missionary.
So it's just not all shopping and eating and sightseeing. Be careful where you go on holidays.
Yeah, so good. Hey, thank you for sharing your heart with us. And from a brother to brother, I definitely respect you a lot. And
Absolutely.
You too.
Yeah, man. Like, my wife knows that I respect Kevin a lot. She tells me, like, you don't often say like a lot of good stuff about people, but you said a lot of good stuff about Kevin. So I think that is a true testimony to the kind of man that you are. So God bless you for what you're doing here, and may you continue to be a natural blessing. And I like the word that you use, a channel. That you are not just a channel for the mission teams that come to link them up with the local churches here, but may also be a channel to link the locals here to Christ. Yeah. So otherwise, we have come to the end of the episode. We appreciate your time listening in to this. And yeah, if you have been blessed in any way, please do leave a comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're probably on the fence of like thinking about going on a mission trip, maybe, hopefully, this can tip you over the edge of saying, okay, I'm going to make that leap of faith and not expect anything and step out and go. Yeah. But otherwise, we thank you for your time. And we will see you on the next one.
See you next time, and we won't be giving you Kevin's number unless you want to come to Kagoshima for missions.
Yeah! All right, see you guys.
Thank you.